This is the Cook and Chisel mobility workout to be done every Sunday for active recovery, to improve movement patterns, and ultimately boost performance. What I want you to do is focus on finding the tight areas, the movements you struggle with the most, and not only doing them on Sundays, but adding them pre and post workout throughout the week to really enhance performance. We have 10 moves, 5 for the lower body, 5 for the upper body. You're gonna do each one for 2 minutes. If it's a one-sided movement, you'll do it a minute on each side and just flow from one to the next. I also have a special treat to finish to make you feel amazing. Here's exercise number 1. We're going right to the wrist, especially important for those who have wrist pain during push-ups. You're gonna have your fingers facing you, get the heel of the hand down, and I want you to shift your weight back. We're gonna go side to side. We're gonna add rotation into it. You find one side's really, really tight. For me, it's always my right. I can actually use that hand to block it down and then kind of move into it, add some rotation, side to side, really shift back, really press down, keep the shoulders in the socket. Either way, 2 minutes total, move around, scour all the tight spaces, open it up, move on to move 2. Exercise number 2 is designed to improve internal rotation of the shoulder and help get those shoulder capsules back into the socket where they tend to glide forward over the course of the day. So I want you to lay on your back, take the back of your hands and press them on your lower back, keep your glutes tight, abs crunched, and then lower your weight into that. And all I want you to do is focus on letting the shoulders sink back until they make direct contact into the floor. Now from there, just focus on taking your elbows and trying to actively push them up. And you'll feel an increase in the stretch in the front of the shoulders, maybe a little bit into the chest. And I'll even kind of shift my emphasis from side to side by just kind of moving in and out of this position. Really just spend 2 minutes ungluing all that tightness in the front of the shoulder and just getting those babies back where they need to be. Exercise number 3 is the overhead chest stretch using a band, rope, or towel. You want to start with a wider grip to make it a little bit easier. You make it harder by bringing your hands closer together. I'm going to do a split kneeling position, 90-degree angle, squeeze the back butt to open up this hip flexor. And what I'm going to do is get the ribs and shoulders down, abs tight. Don't extend at the back. Stay down, stay tight. And then I'm just going to add some rotation at the upper back. Mobilize that thoracic spine area, but we want to keep the lower back nice and stiff and tight with that good abdominal contraction. Halfway through, just switch which leg is forward. So we're getting hip flexors, chest. This is great if you spend a lot of time at the desk, and I know you do. Exercise number 4 is the elevated prayer stretch. We spend a lot of time with our arms at the side during the day, which shortens and stiffens our lat muscles, which will ultimately make it very difficult for us to get our arms overhead without hyperextending our lower back. So we're gonna get back and shoulder issues. We don't want those. Place the hands on a bench, box, or ottoman. I want you to get that belly compressed into those thighs. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Feel that belly expand into those thighs and just sink into the stretch. And what I can do is add some movement and rotation. I can go side to side. I can rotate at the upper back and chest. If I find one side is really tight, let's go one at a time. But you're gonna spend 2 total minutes just mobilizing in this position, keeping the ribs and shoulders down, abs crunched, arm extended straight. Open up those babies, it'll make a huge difference. Exercise number 5 is a neck and trap mobilization. I love this with a kettlebell. You're gonna place it behind your back, and it's gonna pull your shoulders down to increase the stretch in the trap and neck area. These muscles coming right into here. If you don't have access to a kettlebell, you can modify with a dumbbell or hold on to a polar railing and lean forward a bit to get that kind of traction effect. But the key focus is the weight is pulling us down into good position. Block your feet together, ribs, shoulders down, abs crunch, glutes tight, and we're gonna add some motion at the neck. You'll feel a lot of stiffness and tension. Sometimes you even get that slight little burning sensation or tingling. It's called neurotension because these babies get so tight. We hold a lot of stress in this position. Add some motion, add some circles to it, relax it out, 2 total minutes. Exercise number 6 is some dedicated ankle mobility work. Chances are if you have knee pain or you have trouble squatting, running, or jumping, your ankles might be the culprit. We're gonna have either weight plates or low stepper boxes to elevate us. I want you to block your feet together, and I'm gonna use a lower elevation to get more of my Achilles, ankle, and lower calf area. You're gonna block your feet together and make sure that our knees don't cave in. And all we're gonna do is kind of sit into it and work on driving the knees past the toes while keeping my heels down the whole time. I can add some side to side movement. If I feel like one ankle is really, really tight, I can shift all my work onto one at a time, do some in, some straight on, some going out, maybe even add some rotation to it. If you want to get to more of the upper calf, you can go with a higher elevation, and that's just going to really stretch it all the way up into just behind the knee. And again, same concept, add motion side to side, move forward, keep the abs tight, glutes tight, and sink into it. If you find that one is more tight than the other, or you just want to do one at a time too, I can do that. Again, keeping the leg totally straight, adding rotation. 2 minutes total, get it done. Exercise number 7 is the quad hip flexor stretch, oftentimes called the couch stretch in CrossFit circles because you can do it in the back of a couch. What I want you to do is have a bench set up to elevate that back foot, a pad for the knee, and I've got 90-degree angles on my legs. I can actually hold on to the bench and use it to kind of really pull my rib shoulders down, crunch my abs, and I'm trying to get as tall as I can, squeeze that back butt to open up this hip flexor, and I'm going to take an inhale through the nose, into my belly, exhale out through the mouth. At least 5 breaths or 1 minute on each side. I can add some rotation at the upper back, keeping my abs crunched tight here. You'll do 1 minute on each side. I can add some front to back motion to really get into that hip flexor even more. But really do this one, man. I do it every day. It makes such a huge difference. If you have back pain or you have trouble bending over and touching your toes without really rounding your spine, you got to address those hamstrings. You're going to do 1 minute on each side. Elevate that hamstring onto a box bench or ottoman. Get a nice pad for the back knee. I want this leg as straight as you can. Some of you, if you're really tight, you might feel a huge stretch just here. But ideally, you want to be able to get to the point where I can hinge my hips without rounding my back. Keep that chest up, and then I'm going to add some motion side to side to get all 3 compartments of that hamstring, inner, middle, and outer. I can even reach and pull that toe back to get a little more of a calf stretch going too. But spend 1 minute on each side, 2 minutes total. Open these up and keep the motion at the hips, not the back. Exercise number 9 is the elevated glute stretch or the elevated pigeon if you're familiar with the yoga pose. This is going to stretch our hip rotators and glutes and also improve our squatting mechanics. You want to get that leg at a 90-degree angle. If you feel a little bit of compression in the knee, you can kind of back off a bit and move that knee forward a bit, but ideally you want that calf parallel to your trunk. And what I'm going to do is just start by kind of oscillating side to side. I can sink my weight on that glute into the hip towards that knee. Add a little rotation upper back. I can go the other way towards the foot. And again, you're trying to scour and find all the tight corners around that hip capsule. I can get tall, squeeze that back butt, stretch this hip flexor, again, keeping the abs engaged. You're gonna do 1 minute on each side because it will make a serious difference. The 10th and final exercise is a deep squat mobilization. And they say if it's important, do it every day. And the squat is super important. I actually saved it for last so we can spend all the previous movements mobilizing all the key joints that affect the way you squat. So we're gonna start 2 minutes total. The first minute, I want you to block the feet together, hold on to a pole or railing or anything that can allow you to self-support with your hands and get better leverage. And I want you to squat down so the heels remain flat, but I actually want you to flex and around the spine. Yes, I do. I'm trying to actually increase your flexion ability and flexion tolerance. I want you to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, through the belly, and feel the belly just compress into the thighs and release it out. 1 minute, just releasing, getting nice and loose, stretching the spine, getting flexion throughout the ankle, the knee, the hip. And then the second minute, I want you to widen out your stance. And now I want you to get to a good squat position where we maintain a neutral spine. So I don't want you rounded, I want the chest up. I want the knees out, and I want your lower abdomen, pelvic floor active. You'll know it's active if you have a nice natural arc in the lower back. And use the hands to kind of position you and really get it going. I could also, if I wanted to, kind of sink one side at a time, kind of modified pistol positions. I can work on getting my knees out. You've got a lot of options here, but man, it all starts with the squat. Do it right, and you will be a fitness machine. In true form, yes, we lied to you. Again, there is an additional movement you can do, but we highly recommend it. It's a great restorative pose, oftentimes using yoga. What we're gonna have you do is start against the wall like this. Take your shoes off so the socks can slide against the wall without creating too much friction or scuffing up those walls. And then I just want you to roll like this. And then I want you to get that lower back flat against the floor, the hips as close to the wall as you can, and the legs extended straight. This is gonna do a couple things. It'll stretch your hamstrings. It'll help improve lower back positioning. We're gonna do some belly breathing to kind of get you into a more relaxed state from a nervous system standpoint, but it's also gonna take any congestion and inflammation in your lower body and flush it out. And then we stand back up, we circulate new blood and nutrients to help speed up the recovery process. I want you just to relax, bring it down. Workouts fire you up. We gotta bring you back down before you go to work and move on with your day. And then I want you to focus on inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. That belly rise. 5 to 10 straight minutes of this, just deep belly breathing, close your eyes, relax. You can check email, or whatever you want to do on your phone, Instagram. I know you like the social media stuff. The key is just spend 5 to 10 minutes in this position. I can also do a little more of a groin stretch in this position, get the legs out as far as I can with the toes out, and really just lengthen the adductors out, which will help improve squatting mechanics. I can even get into a squat shape while in this position. Again, keep focused, keep those hips down, lower back pressing against the floor, and just spend time moving in and out, changing shapes. But man, this makes a huge difference. You gotta spend time to recover because you only make gains during the recovery process. Try it out, you'll love it.